Hello, and welcome back to a Fishy Plant Man fish production here in the land of the Seven Suns with me, Fishy Plant Man, as your host. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned, and there they go, that I got parrots in the past. Of course, if I wasn't clear, I was referring to parrotfish, blood parrot cichlids, to be very clear if you don't recognize what these swimming orange balls are. Well, that one kind of going sideways is almost more of a pink than an orange, but yeah, blood parrot cichlids. Yes, a rather controversial fish, but I didn't buy them. A guy's tank was overcrowded. Yeah. So, I gave him some room in his 55, and I got a collection of blood parrots. So here they are in the 55. I'm realizing I'm going to run out of a topic really quick. But here they are. And yes, it's very sparsely planted. When I filled this tank up, because I was too lazy to take out the last bit of water that hadn't evaporated, it was just covered with dead hair algae because I'd shut it down, but I didn't really shut it down. I was just letting the water evaporate out, and all of my plants died. You may have seen older videos with the 75 that was, I don't know about nicely planted, but it was getting there. Yeah, I kind of, it's like, nope, the algae is too much, and just shut it down when the last of the fish passed in the great die-off, when I didn't have power for a minute. But I'm going to give her a go again. The lights have been turned way down. Not that they were ever way up, but now they're down lower than they've ever been. To my knowledge, this plant is a red melon sword, if I got that right. And I think it's been grown immersed, so yeah, you can see some dead leaves there. It's got to completely convert, and it hasn't really started yet, other than melting back. So we'll see what the submersed version of it is, I hope, if it grows. But we'll have to wait for it to actually start growing. And you can see there's some of what is theoretically dead hair algae still floating around. I haven't gotten it all out, but I'm letting the filter take care of it, which it's doing a fantastic job. But yeah, you'll still see there's actually a big pile of it back there by the shark jaws. Kind of looks like a rock by the shark jaw. It's not, it's just a clump of what I hope at least is dead hair algae. But I'll get it out. I haven't done my first vacuum yet. I'm sure that will get, well, no, I have. Haven't done my second. That will probably get a great deal more of it. So yeah, we're waiting for this plant to die back. this Java fern here beside it. At least I hope that's Java fern. Yeah, that is the one plant that was in here that didn't die. No light, no filtration. Effectively, it was grown in a bucket. You may have picked up on what I'm referring to. But I started it up and I found a plant effectively. So yeah, that's the Java fern, I guess, if I've got it right, that has been growing, like I say, effectively in a bucket. I didn't know it was in here. The hair algae was so thick, but when I got most of it out, it showed up. And I think it has even started to grow. Like right here, right in the middle of the screen there, there's just a little bitty sword. Yeah, with hair algae all the way around. But, yeah, it's growing. This is in all of my tanks, not just the 10-gallon that it came in. I've put at least a little bit in every tank now. So, yeah, there's the version of it that's grew in a bucket, just light, but it's got its light back, and I'm sure it will take off and do well. But those are the only two aquatic plants I've got, with one exception. Yep, more hair algae. That is one of the Thanksgiving cactus leaves. As a floating plant, I got a little bit to grow for a while in one of my tanks. Now I'm seeing if I can get it to grow not as a floating plant, but in the substrate. Barely have proof of concept. Like I said, it would grow as a floating plant. It grew a little bit. But, yeah, we're going to try that again. Aside from that, there's always one more. Up here, yeah, I put some pothos, devil's ivy, whatever you want to call it. I put a little cutting in there a couple of days ago, and yep, it's starting to grow roots already. So yeah, these are the parrots. And I'm rather proud of them. Very proud of my canister filter. I wasn't going to show it, but I guess since you've twisted my arm so hard. There it is. Just a homemade, I mean, I got it secondhand. I didn't, completely come up with this. But I did completely change the design. It was being used as, I guess, a hot-rodded under gravel filter. Again, you might be picking up on that hot rod reference. But it was an under gravel filter. The tank that it was on had 3 bulkheads drilled into the bottom. out of each side, because about a third of the way in from each side, it had an intake valve. And the water, of course, being heavy, flowed down into that green pump there. And then out the top, it flowed from the center of the tank. And there was a bulkhead in the center that just shot it straight up. And in a 55, it had like a 2-inch, maybe 2-inch, little volcano eruption at the top of the water. And that's how it worked. The water would go down through the gravel, down the pipe. Well, that's a horrible shot. Down the pipes. And the fish are like, what are you doing? You're all over the place. So they've taken off. And then up through the center. Worked very efficiently like that. But now we've got the intake coming to the side. And then instead of one, there's 2 coming off. And that black hose goes down and around and into the back of the actual canister. And then it flows back out the bottom through that L and just free falls back into the tank. While the clear hose, if you will, goes down and under the slate and just, there's a water jet action there. And yes, there's some glue and stuff on the end of it. It's never bothered the fish yet, and I don't believe it will, so I'm not too worried. So there's the big powerful canister. The water jet might be a little bit strong. They're supposed to play in it. The other owner says that they would play it. I haven't seen them playing in it yet, but it might be that the jet is too strong. I don't know. Can't really turn it down because then the bubbles over there get too strong, so we'll see. Time will tell. As far as how often I maintain the canister filter, haven't yet. It's been running off and on for, well, a couple of times it's ran since I've had it. Yeah. I had it running a salt water for a little while, and then I converted the salt water to a fresh water. Now it's running on this. It's probably ran somewhere around 2.5 years with no maintenance. The closest that has gotten to maintenance was, there's actually another part to it. Around back, you can see that spigot, garden hose spigot type setup there. I would run a hose from it out the door and water a couple of plants that lived outside. After I drained, 15, 20 gallons out of the 55, because the salt water in the Oscar tank was a 55, I would attach the hose to it. I think I might have attached the piping to it at this point, and then ran it from the sink and filled the tank effectively from bottom to top, because it sat down under the cabinet, it's a under gravel filter. Yeah. fresh water would go into the spigot and, yeah, to the tank way of the filter. And that's as close as it came to getting maintenance. I'm not sure if that top will screw off to, maintain what looks like a car's air filter inside of there. But I like it. It does a very good job. And as of yet, I mean, you can see the flow. It doesn't really need maintained. It's certainly not clogged up. So, there's the parrots and the aquatic plants. Kind of like to get a couple more species. Maybe this watermelon that I'm hearing about has great interest in it, I'll say. Maybe I'll try some of that. Watermelon. I don't know if it's crypt or what it is, but yeah. So there's the new parrotfish. Okay. Talk to you next time. I guess I should have said fish plant video. It's a little bit of a hybrid between fish and plants, albeit for the most part aquatic plants. All right. Talk to you next time.